Rubio is now surging in the polls after a very strong performance in Tuesday's debate. Take a look.
Oil reserves do not exist to win midterms. They exist to help this country in an emergency or in the midst of a storm. What we cannot do is some of these crazy policies that are coming from the left that Congresswoman Demings has supported. The extremist on abortion in this campaign is Congresswoman Demings. She supports no restrictions, no limitations of any kind. She voted against she's against a 4-month ban. She voted against a 5-month ban. She supports taxpayer-funded abortion on demand for any reason at any time up until the moment of birth. Because you didn't support a 20-week ban. You didn't support...
Up to the time of viability.
Well, but when is that? That's the vague language they all give. And then they talk about the doctor and the family. Let me tell you who else is in that room, that abortion room. The government is in that room because she brought them in there. She wants the taxpayer to pay for that abortion. That's government involvement. Not just to pay for that abortion, but to pay for them all over the world.
Look, the senator can play... national security expert all he wants. I know he needs that for his next presidential run.
Congresswoman, I need to stop you there, and I want to give, because you mentioned the senator, another 30 seconds to the senator.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what she means by play national security expert. I'm the vice chairman of the Intelligence Committee and was the previous chairman of it, so it's actually my job. But my opponent has been in Congress now for half a decade and has never passed a single piece of legislation into law, not one. The only thing she does is vote 100% with Pelosi.
What a debate. Joining us now, Florida Senator Marco Rubio. Senator, I want every candidate running for office to watch the entire debate because you wiped the floor in that debate against your opponent. It was a great moment. I love the line, especially about, well, you want taxpayers to pay for it, so you brought the government into the delivery room. That was a great line.
Well, it's the truth. I mean, they're always talking about, you know, they hide behind this language of vague, this vague language about viability, but they'll never tell you what that is. This is a national phenomenon. It's not just happening here. Every candidate running for Senate, even governor around the country, when they're asked, can you give us a time frame? Is it 24 weeks, 26 weeks? They'll never tell you what it is. And then, you know, unfortunately in my debate, you know, the moderators never pressed her on it. I mean, they asked me like 8 questions on abortion. They never asked her one about, well, what restrictions or what limitations would you support? And I think you're seeing reporters ask that question of the White House, and Joe Biden has the same answer. He says it's Roe v. Wade, basically viability, but they'll never tell you what that is, because the truth of the matter is this. In order to get the endorsement of NARAL and Planned Parenthood and all these other groups that are out there helping them and raising money for them, you have to be for taxpayer-funded abortion at any time, for any reason, right up to the moment of birth. And in the case of Congresswoman Demings, she even voted that basically say it's not a crime for a doctor to fail at an abortion, the baby's born alive, and do nothing to treat the baby. I brought that up in the debate as well. No, it's horrific, but they never get asked about it.
You know, it's interesting. To me, it's simple. 41-year high of inflation, double the price of a gallon of gasoline, and it's going higher, even though Joe has stripped our strategic petroleum reserves in half, and he's doing it only for the election. So it's about gas prices, inflation, open borders, law and order. Most Americans would like safety and security so they can pursue happiness. It's about a woke agenda in schools. This is not a complicated election, Senator. I see it as the biggest choice election the American people have had, at least in my lifetime.
Yeah, this one party, this one group of people have controlled everything in Washington for 2 years. The result is runaway inflation, begging for foreign countries to produce oil while our people are paying the price at the pump with high prices, a crime wave, a border in which drugs and 5,000 people per day enter our country unabated. That's the result of this leadership. That's a result of 2 years under their hand. If they stay in power for 2 more years, they'll destroy the country. I don't know any other way to say it. If they stay in power, if they stay controlling the House and Senate, they will destroy the greatest country in the history of the world. That's what's at stake, and that's why people need to come out and vote. You know, don't stay home and think this thing's in the bag. It's not. Wherever you are in the country, you need to come out and vote. Obviously, if you're in Florida, you need to come out and vote. And by the way, they're raising a ton of money. Like Val Demings raised $20 million in 3 months from liberals all across America who hate Florida because we've embarrassed New York and California. So I always ask people to go on my website, marcorubio.com, and help in any way you can. Because if you saw that debate, you realize pretty quickly that the media, even the local media, is not going to be helping me with my message. I'm going to have to pay for it.
Well, I will give a little hint. I will be seeing you in person next week. That's all I can say. Not allowed to say any more than that.
I'm looking forward to that night.
All right, Senator, thank you. We appreciate it. Your race is critical. Coming up.